Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about newborn essentials, what I thought I needed versus what I actually used. So in preparing for a newborn, it's pretty hard, especially if you're a first time mom. You just don't really know what you're going to need. You don't know what you're going to like. You don't know what the baby's going to like, and there's so many brands to pick from. So these are just the essentials that worked for me personally. Now every baby is different. There's some stuff that I used for my first son that didn't really work for my second. My 4-month-old is sitting right here, so if you hear some squeaking and some noises, he's just sitting right here with me. So yeah, let's get into the video. In preparing for my first baby, I thought I needed tons and tons of clothes, tons of socks, tons of mittens, tons of lotions. I thought I was going to be using everything all the time, and that's really not the case, especially with things like socks and mittens and lotions. I have a Johnson & Johnson's bottle that I had like 3 of these by the time my first son was born, and I have only completely used like 1, and he's almost 2, and we use it every night while getting him ready for bed, and I use it on my 4-month-old getting him ready for bed. So that's just like one of the examples of things that you just think you need a ton of and you really don't. The number one thing is clothes. I thought I needed tons and tons of clothes. So many to the point that my first son actually didn't wear, like, I'd say like a third of the stuff that we actually had gotten for him. So I ended up donating a lot of it. So yeah, these are the essentials that will help you get through the newborn stage and hopefully kind of cut down on costs, because it is pretty daunting to expect a newborn and think that they need so much when they really don't need as much as you'd think they'd need. So one of my first favorite products are these swaddles. Now I have 2 swaddles. This is a muslin swaddle. I think this is Cloud Island, which you can find at Target. It's specifically a Target brand, I think. But my first baby was 9 pounds, so he didn't really fit into the traditional like Velcro swaddle me swaddles. So I used the muslin swaddle all the time. Plus he was born when it was a little warmer out. So it was a nice, like really light blanket to throw over him in his car seat when it was just like kind of breezy out. So there's that kind of swaddle. And then for my second baby, I use this Halo swaddle, which has actually been working out really well. They make bigger sizes, so they kind of grow with your baby, but they have the Velcro wings and little sleep sack, and it works really well for him. And for newborns, you have to swaddle them. I guess you don't have to swaddle them. They just really recommend you swaddling them. It just kind of helps them, stay calmer and sleep a little better, because there's not all this like negative space that's freaking them out. So the next product I would say I use all the time is receiving blankets. Now, in preparing for both of my sons, I made sure that there was a receiving blanket stash in almost every room of the house. I kept them in the living room. They're in my nightstand. They're in their room. So, I mean, receiving blankets are just, you use them for everything. You use them for spit ups, for them to lay on, to cover them up. So receiving blankets is a definite essential for a newborn. The next thing is hats. Now, I'm from the Midwest, upper Midwest, so it gets pretty cold here, but newborns they can't regulate their body temperature quite yet, so they even put hats on them like in the summer, and these are really, really light hats. My first baby was born in early September, so it was still pretty warm out, but they still needed a hat, so I would just get these light hats and then just kind of put him in a t-shirt and a hat, and that's what he would wear. The next thing is this gripe water by Mommy's Bliss. I get specifically the nighttime one because both of my boys are kind of restless sleepers. They don't really get fussy, but they just don't calm down and like settle down enough to sleep. So I will give them a little bit of this, and it helps them just kind of calm down and really reach a level of sleep. The next thing, and I showed this before, is this bottle of Johnson & Johnson lotion. I use this every night in getting my boys ready for bed, especially for newborns because their skin is really sensitive, so it's just good to really put lotion on them every night. Well, at least in my opinion, it's good for them. So these next two things are this little suction bulb. Usually you get one of these at the hospital when the baby's born. I know a lot of moms use the Nose Frida. I'm not one for that. I just never, I don't know, I never really liked the idea of it, I guess, but I heard that's a really good product. But this works really well for my boys and stuff. So the next thing is a pacifier, and I think you get these ones in the hospital too usually, but these ones have worked for both of my boys with breastfeeding. There's kind of mixed opinions about giving babies pacifiers while breastfeeding, but these ones worked really well and didn't like mess up their latch or anything. Now my last newborn essential is this bottle. It's a Playtex vent bottle. I definitely recommend vented bottles versus non, because this just kind of helps with helps them not get as much air in their belly. It makes them a little more comfortable. And this bottle, like I said, in breastfeeding both of my boys, and I only breastfed my first baby for about 6 weeks, but and my second baby for about, he's going to be 4 months, so, and he's still breastfed. And he will once in a while take this bottle, and it doesn't mess up his latch or anything. Those are my newborn essentials that I actually used. And I'd say even with this small stack, like these are the things that I use on almost everyday basis. It's just you really don't need as much for a newborn as you would think. You don't need tons and tons of bottles. You just don't need a ton of stuff. Yeah, you need a lot of stuff, but you don't need a ton of stuff. That is my newborn essentials, what I thought I needed versus what I actually needed. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.